Hello everyone, welcome to my biology classes. So this is the part 2 of chapter 2, that is biological classification of class 11. Okay, here first part we did kingdom Monera. Here in this part we will do kingdom Protista. Okay, so let's begin. So we'll discuss about Protista here. So it is a group which includes unicellular eukaryotes. Unicellular means single-celled. Single-cell eukaryotes. What do you mean by eukaryotes? Eukaryotic organism. Eukaryotic organisms are the one which are having a well-defined nucleus. It will have well-defined nucleus means it will have nuclear membrane. Okay. And it will have organelles also, cell organelles, different types of. Okay. And primarily they are aquatic, means they live in a watery environment. Okay. Coming to the third point, a photosynthetic protist is a link between plants and animal. A photosynthetic protist means the protista which does photosynthesis, which prepare their own food with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight. So that type of protist, photosynthetic protist, are a connecting link between the plants and animals. Okay, getting? Now the next point, they contain well-defined nucleus. I have already mentioned, since they are known as eukaryotes, so therefore they will definitely have a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound cell organelles. They will have other membrane-bound cell organelles also in the cytoplasms. Okay, clear? So moving on to the next slide. So Protist has been classified into 5 different classes. We'll discuss one by one. Okay. So first class will be protozoans, next slime molds, next Chrysophytes, next dinoflagellates, and the last one is euglenoids. So one by one we'll go in details. Okay, in this video. Okay, starting with Chrysophytes. Okay, Chrysophytes. Okay, they are freshwater and or marine, means they can live in freshwater environment also, marine environment also. Clear? They are photosynthetic, means they prepare their own food with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight. Okay, therefore they are photosynthetic. Okay, they don't depend on other for food. Okay, they include, the example for Chrysophytes are diatom is one of the example, and desmids is one of the example. These are algae. Okay, so desmids are called golden algae. Clear? And the Chrysophytes, these two are the main example, that is diatoms and desmids. Okay, they are having a peculiar characteristics, that is they are having a indestructible cell wall. Okay, indestructible due to the presence of silica, means their cell wall is made up of silica, which is you can't destroy it. Okay, clear? This is a unique feature of Chrysophytes. Okay, the cell wall makes two thin overlapping shells which fits like a soap box on the outer surface. Okay, so it is like two-walled, the structure is like two-walled, which is like a soap base, it is saying. Okay, two thin overlapping shells, it is saying, it is overlapped, like how you keep the soap and soap base, no? So it's like that, the shape. Okay, I'll show you picture in the next slide. Getting till this point? Okay, moving on to the next slide. So you have heard about diatomaceous earth. Okay, it's a powdery like thing which is shown in this figure. Okay, this diatomaceous earth is extracted from this Chrysophytes only. Okay, so what it is? It is a deposit of cell wall that gets accumulated billions of years. Okay, this whenever the chrysophytes used to die, so the hard coating, it's indestructible, no? The cell wall is indestructible, so it gets accumulated millions, billions of years. It has been getting accumulated, and it has been converted into this powder, which is very useful in case of filtration also, polishing also, removal unwanted materials from drinking water also. It has three important uses of diatomaceous earth. The material is called diatomaceous earth, which has been extracted from chrysophytes. Clear? So moving on to the next slide. So this is the picture showing diatom. Okay, this one. See, it is having hard coat, indestructible shell. Okay, and this diatoms is also the chief producer in ocean. It's also called as chief producer in ocean. Okay, getting my point? Okay, moving on to the next slide. The second one is dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates. Okay, so they are what? They are photosynthetic, like the previous one. The chrysophytes were also photosynthetic. They make their own food, and dinoflagellates are also photosynthetic. They make their own food. They are marine. Okay, they are not freshwater. They are marine, and they are very colorful. They have different colors like yellow, green, red, blue, brown, etc. According to the pigment present, they have pigment, therefore they are having different colors. They show different colors. Okay, they are having cellulosic cell wall. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, but in case of chrysophytes it was made up of silica. Remember that. Okay, getting my point? So moving on to the next slide. So this is a type of dinoflagellates, goniolax, multiply rapidly and cause red tide. So you can see red tide here. It's a type of dinoflagellates. Okay. So moving on to the next slide. So many dinoflagellates emits blue, green color light, means bioluminescence they are. So you can see the picture, so beautiful picture. This shiny appearance is because of this shiny appearance is called bioluminescence. Okay, they are shown by dinoflagellates. Okay, clear? So moving on to the next slide. So this is the picture of dinoflagellates. It is having longitudinal flagella. This longitudinal flagella, they are having this is longitudinal flagella, sorry, and these are transverse flagella. This is a picture of dinoflagellates. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. The third one, that is euglenoids. Okay, they are also photosynthetic flagellated protist. They are also having flagella, and they are also photosynthetic, means they make their own food with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, they are a link between plants and animals. So they are considered as link between plants and animals, but they have one unique feature, that is they do not have cell wall. In the previous two classes we have seen that they were having cell wall. In case of chrysophytes, the cell wall were made of silica. In case of dinoflagellates, the cell wall was made up of cellulose. Here the cell wall is absent in case of euglenoids. Okay, it has a peculiar characteristics, means the outer covering is made up of pellicle, means protein rich layer it is present. Okay, this makes their body flexible. Okay, it does not have cell wall but have pellicle. Okay, So moving on to the last point, in the absence of sunlight, they feed on small organism and behave as heterotroph. Means generally when there is sunlight, they behave as what? Autotrophs, means they undergoes photosynthesis. But in absence of sunlight, they used to feed on small organism and act as a heterotrophs. Okay? Understanding? Euglenoids. So moving on to the next slide. So this is the diagram showing, picture showing euglenoids, which we have already discussed that it is having flagella. See, you can see flagella here. Okay. So moving on to the next slide, the fourth one, slime molds. What are slime molds? They are saprophytic. Saprophytic means what? They feed on dead and decayed matters. Okay. They are saprophytic protists, feeding on organic materials from dead twigs and leaves. So they feed on dead twigs and leaves. Okay. Aggregation of slime mold is called plasmodium. So when the slime mold used to aggregate together to form a colony type, then it will be called as plasmodium. Okay. Which they form under favorable conditions. So they form aggregate under favorable condition only. Then it is called plasmodium. Getting? But in case of unfavorable condition, you can see fruiting body coming up through the plasmodium like this, fruiting body. You can see fruiting body, you can see under unfavorable condition containing spores. This fruiting body will contain spores. Okay. Then it develops at the tip of the plasmodium. So we have already discussed that. In the tip of the, this is plasmodium, in the tip of the plasmodium, the fruiting body arises. Okay. So this spores can survive for very long under adverse. So this spores can survive very long condition. Under adverse condition also they can survive. And they have true walls also. Okay. True cell walls it is having. Understanding what is plasmodium, what is fruiting body? Are you getting? Means in case of slime molds, under favorable condition, this used to get aggregate together to form plasmodium. Okay. But when the unfavorable condition occurs, so over the plasmodium there will be fruiting body like this. There will be fruiting body which will bear spore and they can survive any harsh condition. Okay. So we'll see pictures, then it will be more clear to you. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. So this is a picture showing slime mold. Okay. And this is a picture showing plasmodium. You can see aggregate. Under favorable condition you can see plasmodium. Aggregate of slime mold. Okay. Getting? Moving on to the next slide. See fruiting body. Can you see fruiting body? This one. Okay. Under unfavorable condition. Okay. They form fruiting body which bears spores. It is having spores. And they can survive any harsh climatic conditions also. Clear? So moving on to the next slide. We have protozoans. This is the last one. Protozoans. The group contain all the unicellular, single-celled organism. Eukaryotic means they are having well-defined nucleus and cell organelles also, membrane-bound cell organelles also. Okay. They are heterotrophs means they feed on other, they depend on other for their food. Okay. Which are parasites. They can be parasites also living in host body. Okay. Or predators also. Okay. They hunt. Okay. These are divided into 4 major groups. So one by one we'll study 4 major groups of protozoans. Okay. So the first group will be protozoans, amoeboid protozoans, amoeba. See the diagram. Amoeba. Okay. They are characterized by the presence of, They are having pseudopodia, that is false feet they are having, okay, which are used for movement and catching their prey. Alright, example amoeba. Getting? And one more point is there, the amoeba which is present in the marine environment, that is called marine amoeboids, have silica shells. They are having silica shells, okay. You have to keep this point in your mind. And the last point will be, some of the amoeboids are parasites which are harmful, like they causes disease in us, in humans, like ant amoeba histolica is one of the example of amoeboid protozoa. Ant amoeba histolica, which causes amoeboid dysentery, okay, in humans. Getting? Clear? Amoeboid protozoa. Next, move on to the next slide. The second one, that is flagellated protozoa. So flagellated means it is having flagella. See, in the diagram it is showing flagella. Okay, so they are characterized by the presence of flagella. They are having flagella. Some of them are parasites causing various disease. Some are parasites which causes disease. Example, trypanosoma. Trypanosoma causes sleeping sickness. You have to know the name properly. Okay, for entrance perspective it is very important. Okay, trypanosoma is a type of flagellated protozoa which causes your sleeping sickness in humans. Okay, getting? So moving on to the next slide, the third one, ciliated protozoa means it will have small hair like projection, cilia it will have. So they have thousands of cilia in their body surfaces. Okay, this picture you can see the yellow color cilia, small hair like projection. Example is paramecium. Okay, one of the example of ciliated protozoa is paramecium. Okay, example you have to know. Clear? So moving on to the last protozoans, that is sporozoans. Okay, it is a type of protozoa, sporozoans. They are characterized by they will form the spores. They have a characteristic features of to form spores. Okay, which is the infectious stage. The spore is the infectious stage. Okay, example Plasmodium, which is a malarian parasite which causes malaria in humans. Okay, Plasmodium is one of the example of sporozoans. Sporozoans protozoa. Okay, Plasmodium. Getting my point? Is it clear to you all? So examples you have to keep in mind. You have to do repeated revision. Okay, everyday revision is must. Okay, so end of the this kingdom Protista. Next class will start with the next kingdom. Thank you for your patient hearing.